It's what I've done, just mentioned there, from the age of 15 when I first started boxing for England. This is what we train for. There's no point putting in a 6-8 week hard camp and fighting someone and not being in a good fight and being happy with your performance at the end of it. So that's what I'm looking to do. It's another step forward, and it's one that I can look back and go, yeah, move on to the next now. Boxers will know themselves that when you see a good boxer, you don't just appreciate the skills that are shown, but you'd appreciate the work that's went in. Because some people think boxing's easy, and then when it comes to actually going in there and hitting a pad, it's like, oh, okay, it's not as easy as what I've seen on telly. Very important. At the end of the day, sometimes when you're in the ring, all you've got is them. So if you're coming back and they're giving you some valuable advice to help you win that fight, and you're not taking it on board, sometimes you can think you're in a different place in the fight. And they're the eyes that are watching it at the end of the day. I'll never.
October Red Boxing here with the lovely, talented Chloe Watson, back again.
Good to see you again. Doesn't feel like that long ago I was seeing you. We were running with each other while I was going. I was late for my massage appointment actually, but yeah.
Did you get it done? Did you get there on time?
Yeah, I got there in time. Obviously, just had to get a run in there instead of a walk.
Yeah, and then I went and got some food. But anyway, like I said, it seems like it's just been 5 minutes since you were out. Signing with Wasserman has really had some benefits for yourself. You've been on almost all of their shows, and now we're going into this one, Channel 5, broadcast again. How does it feel for somebody like yourself that's experienced in boxing, and now you're starting to get a real support behind you from Wasserman?
Good, as a boxer, obviously in the position that I'm in, I'm not long just turned pro, coming up a year ago now. So, the key is activity, and I do want to be out as much as possible. And with Wasserman supporting me doing that and getting these opportunities to be on Channel 5, it's every boxer's dream. Like I said, if you are in the position that I'm in right now, so I feel really grateful.
When you said that you was on Team GB, yes, you didn't get to the Olympics, but how good has that put you in? Because you are one of the main fighters on the Wasserman Boxing.
Really good, in a way. It's not that boxing's all that I've known, but it's all that I've wanted to do from leaving school. Obviously, I got that feel for boxing for England, and then from leaving school, I went on full time to GB. So, mentally, I am a boxer. Someone asked me before, is there anything you do outside boxing job-wise? Even if I had next to no money, wasn't being paid nothing, which I did when I first turned professional, until I got these opportunities to fight and stuff like that. I'd still be here doing everything, and all my 100% focus would be going into boxing. And that's just the way I've kind of grew into the sport. So from the GB, that's gave me that, but also obviously it's given me the experience travelling around the world and just taking it as it comes really, and yeah.
And I think that's some of the things with you guys that have been on the GB squad. You've got that experience of fighting good fighters across the world, because you haven't just been on the small hall shows. Say, for example, the small hall shows, fighting people locally. You fought global good opponents. So when somebody says, this opponent that you're fighting now, yeah, she's going to be tough or whatever, this is what you want. I saw your face light up at the top table. You live for this.
Yeah, exactly. It's what I'm used to. It's what I've done, just mentioned there, from the age of 15 when I first started boxing for England. This is what we train for. There's no point putting in a 6-8 week hard camp and fighting someone and not being in a good fight and being happy with your performance at the end of it. So that's what I'm looking to do. It's another step forward, and it's one that I can look back and go, yeah, move on to the next now.
And we talk about that. You're very skilled, a very skilled fighter, somebody that, if you like boxing, you'll like your style. More surface, below the surface for you, not just for the casual fan, somebody that can appreciate the art of boxing itself. How is that then for a female in boxing? Because it is kind of like the buzz thing now. How do you find that with your fans, bringing on male fans and male fans looking at you and saying, actually, not just because you're a nice looking lady, but you can actually box?
Yeah, it's good to be able for anyone to be looking at a boxer, male or female, and say, there's something good about that. And, it's good to be appreciated for what you do, and it's good to, boxers will know themselves that, when you see a good boxer, you you don't just appreciate the skills that are shown, but you'd appreciate the work that's went in. Because some people think boxing's easy, and then when it comes to actually going in there and hitting a pad, it's like, oh, okay, it's not as easy as what I've seen on telly. So obviously it's good that, you know, you just give me that compliment there. I feel like obviously the hard work is like, and the skills is appreciated, and something that I'm working hard on to improve every day. Yeah, like, it doesn't really stop here. I want to get better and better, and there's no place to do that than up in Manchester with Ricky and Blaine, and I feel like I've really, you know, come into good stead with them in the last year, and we're working on lots of new things, and I'm really excited.
I like that, and the fact that you're obviously training with Ricky and Blaine, who we see in the corner for Brad Ray as well, another good boxer. Something that Ricky's done recently, he's got back into the fighting mould himself. You can see that he's stripped the weight. I've seen him on the treadmill doing all his bits in the gym with you guys. How much of that is it influence then to have your trainer that is usually sat there in the corner telling you what to do? You know, obviously he is who he is anyway, but he's decided at this point in his life to say, you know what, I'm going to join in with the fighters. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to train. What is it like for you to be part of that?
Good, you know, we love to see it. Obviously, everyone's going on about his weight loss and stuff like that. So it goes to show he's not taking it lightly. And yeah, you know, he's put a lot into it, and I'm excited to see him in the ring, because when he was in his prime, you know, my eyes weren't really all on boxing at the time. So it's good. I've heard a lot of stories, obviously, through my dad and stuff like that, and obviously growing up in the sport, and I've heard people say like I've got like a similar style to him as I was growing up in boxing, and so to actually see him come into his own, like, again, from all them years ago, and yeah, it's just really good to see, really good to see. I'm really enjoying it.
And I like that coach trainer mentality, because it's like you work really well together, and if somebody's saying to you about the styles are similar, that just makes it even more better and solidifies your like coach fighter relationship. Because that is something, and I like to look at it. I like to listen to the corners. I like to look at the body language between the two. How important is that for you to have that important relationship with your coach?
Very important. At the end of the day, sometimes when you're in the ring, all you've got is them. So if you're coming back and they're giving you some, you know, valuable advice to help you win that fight, and you're not taking it on board, sometimes you can think you're in a different place in the fight. And they're the eyes that are watching it at the end of the day. I'll never forget, I was at one of my first amateur shows that I went to go see. It was in the Elite Championships, and one of the guys from amateur boxing gym, he was fighting, and he just went, I think it was like his jab, he weren't throwing his jab or something like that, and I must have been about 10, and I was watching, and everyone was going, why isn't he throwing his jab, why isn't he throwing his jab? And you could see the coach at the time, Sean, was saying to him in the corner, throw your jab. He would have easily won the fight if he would have just threw his jab. He never threw his jab, but after it, we were all speaking to him, and he was like, why didn't you throw your jab? And he was like, I thought me like hooks were working better and stuff like that. So that made me realise from a very young age, there's lots of things sometimes you don't necessarily see when you're inside the ring, but people can see outside. Even like the likes of, you know, people just watching could see it, and we're egging Sean on to the point where like, come on, throw your jab. So that was a big one for me. So to have that, you know, relationship with your coach, that, you know, you can trust what they're saying, is a big one.
And that's what we love. And you can see you're just boxing through and through. There is nothing else there for Chloe. You know, you're one of these fighters that I'm watching closely, as you know, on the social media, etc., just to see you progress through your career. An exciting fighter, you know, in your weight division. Are you going to stay there, or are you going to move around in the weights as you go through? Because obviously you're still quite young.
Yeah, obviously, and there's there's a few different weights, there's a few things going on in a couple of different weights. But at the moment, yeah, I'm a flyweight, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that takes me. And obviously, if opportunity comes later on at different weights, then we'll sit down and discuss it. But at the moment, yeah,
satisfied with the flyweight.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Chloe. I'll be there ringside supporting as I do. All the best, and just keep up the really, really good boxing work.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.